Hello Shiny viewers, I am DS, your psychologist, and welcome to another episode on Channel Niche. So in this episode, we're going to discuss 3 serious mistakes that ENTJs may make very early in the dating or love phase. So for viewers who are not familiar with the ENTJ, this is the ENTJ's cognitive stack. The ENTJ uses TE as their dominant function and NI as their auxiliary function. So under normal circumstances, the ENTJ uses TE and NI to make decisions. However, when it comes to love, sometimes NI is thrown totally out of the window because TE takes over. So I am speaking from my personal experience. A lot of times, there was supposed to be a chance between me and someone. However, because of the mistakes that I made, I blew it. So what are these mistakes that I made that I think fellow ENTJs may also be prone to making? Let's discuss them one by one. So first, because ENTJ's dominant function TE is an extroverted function, the ENTJ has a tendency to be very impatient right at the start of a relationship. So when the ENTJ sees you, feels attracted to you, he just wants to book you. So things will happen very fast on the ENTJ side. It's like a whirlwind. I'm in love with you now. I just want you totally. And the temperature of the love seems to rise on the ENTJ side. However, this may not be the case on the person on the receiving end, especially when the other person is a perceiver. So under normal circumstances, when I first go on a date or when I get to know someone, my NI introverted intuition will already tell me whether this is going to work. So when my NI says go, what's going to happen is TE will totally take over. So I will start to text this person a lot. TE as an extroverted function does not like silence, does not like gap. So I may text you at 9 AM, I will again text you at 9:30, text you at 10, and I expect you to reply. Because if you like me too, you will reply, right? Of course, if the other person is a perceiver, they really need time to digest this relationship. This is especially true when the other person is an introvert. So a lot of the IJ types may find ENTJ's pursuit very overwhelming. It is not that they don't like the ENTJ, sometimes they just need time to adjust to this. The ENTJ wants things to happen really fast because TE is in action. TE wants to secure the relationship. TE is objective driven. It wants to raise the love to greater heights. So it is very likely that ENTJs may say, okay, let's stay together on the first day of the relationship. This kind of message definitely cannot sit well with INTJs, for example. But for INFPs, they may be totally fine. So in my personal experience, I have actually gotten an INFP to stay with me on our second day. But for most of the other people, this doesn't really work at all. So there are some MBTI types that seem to be more crazy about love, such as the INFP. Many other MBTI types are not. So ENTJ's pursuit can really be overwhelming for many MBTI types. And that is when they might just throw a message back to the ENTJ and say that, I don't think we are suitable for each other. So that is a very serious first mistake that I always make as an ENTJ. So fellow ENTJs, I understand that love can actually give you this magical feeling sometimes, but with some MBTI types, you really need to take it slow down. So it is really very important for us to learn MBTI types. We have an assessment of whether this person can take our hot pursuit. Also, I think I also have to constantly remind myself that it is not necessary for me to keep texting this person to remind them that I exist. Sometimes absence may be a more powerful weapon. So give people some space, some time to think of you. I think I'm reminding myself this. A lot of times the person on the other end may really be very busy. So refrain from going too fast and too strong. So keep your TE in check. TE is very driven to secure the relationship, but you need not go that fast. You can still secure the relationship. And here I'm going to talk about mistake number 2. Mistake number 2 that I look back and I see that I make a lot when it comes to dating and love is that I make assumptions of the other person too fast. So the ENTJ uses TE as the dominant function. Given that the dominant function is a thinking function, so the ENTJ is essentially a judger. So they make judgment very quickly. They are not perceivers. Perceivers are MBTI types that use either a sensing function or intuitive function as the dominant function. So this essentially means that the ENTJ is actually very prone to jumping to conclusions very early in the relationship. So just to give you an example, presume I got to know you on Tinder and then we decided to go on a date, and then we also promised on text that we go for dinner first, after which we'll go for a movie. So presume the date comes and tells me that they can have dinner together, but she has an urgent matter and needs to leave after that and can't have a movie with me. As an ENTJ, I will immediately think that after seeing me, the real face me, she decided that she doesn't really like, so she's been polite just to continue with the dinner and then she's gonna leave. So I'll make the immediate assumption that she's not interested. So why does it work this way? Because as an ENTJ, I have decided to go on a date, I have planned the itinerary, I will stick with it. So if anything that comes along the way, I will manage it and I will still go on with the date. And if I don't like what I see, I will also make this excuse. So I will assume that if you do that to me, it is applicable that you don't like me. However, on 2 or 3 occasions, this is not true. The other person actually wanted to see me again. Maybe there was really an urgent matter. So there were a lot of times I assumed that the other person is not interested too early, too fast. And that is not because I have a poor, low self-esteem of myself. It is more so because as an ENTJ, I value efficiency and time is very important to me. Don't waste my time.
So go and use it, just don't waste my time.
So if I see that you're going to drop me, I am going to drop you faster. Because I don't want to waste any more resources on this person who is not interested. But a lot of times now that I look back, I realize that my assumptions are just presumptions that are not true. So a third mistake that I made as an ENTJ very early in the relationship is that I don't filter my words at times. In fact, a lot of times. So it is very likely that I just say things that I feel at the moment that may not be wise to say at all. So just to give you an example, I can tell my date something like this. So do you remember the day that we first met? After having lunch with you and we said goodbye, I went to meet another person that I've actually chatted for about 3 months on Tinder as well. And then after seeing her, we also had dinner. I realized that you are a better catch. So these are some of the things that you shouldn't tell your potential date, right? Actually, these are some things that you shouldn't tell your date at all. But as an ENTJ, I say it because I thought you would want to know that you are a better choice. Actually, I'm so wrong. So because NI is not present, NI is not there to filter the things that I should not say to a potential date. And a lot of times, I just frighten people away. This guy must be crazy, they say. So there you have it. These are 3 very fatal mistakes that an ENTJ might make very early in the dating or loving phase. So if you are a person dating an ENTJ and then you see such things coming, do realize that the ENTJ does not mean this kind of mistakes. It's just that love takes over and then TE takes over to run the scene, and TE is not good at running love at all. So fellow ENTJs, if you are in a loving situation, hold your horses, get NI into the picture as well and run the entire show together. Slow down. So looking back, there were a lot of dates that I actually just lost along the way because of all these mistakes that I really like. But there's no more opportunities with them because I screwed up. So I hope that this video may save you this regret. So dear viewers, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed our content, do give us a like. If you have not subscribed, do consider subscribing so that we can bring you more ENTJ, MBTI and fun stuff. Okay, I'm going to sign off now and I'll see you in our next episode. Goodbye!